Hey guys, so real quick video. I just finished recording this one, but then when I played back, apparently OBS hadn't reset to its normal speaker thing, and I didn't have any sound. Like, I could hear me, but the video you couldn't hear. But this is Shattered Legacies, Shadowlands in-game cinematic. I've watched it already, but so without further ado, we're gonna get into it. So here we go.
Sylvanus' soul has been fractured from the moment of her death until now.
Burn it! This was their home. And you slaughtered all of them! How could you take all those innocent lives? This was beyond life and death. There was no other path to true freedom. How can you not see that? I see what you are. Murderer! Monster! Butcher! Why can I not escape this torment?
The jailer has severed their bond and condemned her to endlessly relive her atrocities. So long as her soul remains divided, she cannot wake.
Maybe she shouldn't.
She's the only one who knows the jailer's plan and how we might save Anduin.
She's the one that turned Anduin.
Jaina is right. How can we possibly trust her?
Her wound runs so much deeper than mine. Well met, Ranger General.
What is this? Who are you?
Someone who shared your fate, felled by the blade of the very same prince.
This. I died trying to stop that monster, only to wake up haunted by one with my face.
That banshee is you.
No. I cannot accept that.
Her path began where yours ended, and you've seen the decisions she made.
Never in 1,000 lifetimes would I betray everything I stood for. You can't possibly understand.
The jailer is deceptively cunning. When I realized I had become his pawn, it nearly destroyed me. He had no doubts it would destroy you as well. Was he right? Or will you accept her shattered legacy and tell us how to stop him?
Her crimes are unforgivable.
Yes.
And she... I must face the consequences.
We cannot change the past, and we may never find forgiveness in the future. But inaction damns us all. Time is short, Ranger General. Make your choice. I've done all I can.
Okay, so first off, I'm pretty sure the same reaction I had the first time watching it. It's weird seeing Sylvanas like this and hearing her voice without that echo we all know and love. Second, without the under her eyes. First, it looked like she was just a night elf type thing where she just kind of had the, like, you know, it went like that, where it was very, you know, triangular looking when it come to she came with the sharp points, and then it's just started to look like a smudge, and then we realized after the Warbringers episode that they did that those under her eyes were her tears being burned into her skin after, you know, as she died. But to see her in her true Ranger General self again, without that echo in her voice, it's just weird. It really is. We're so used to skulls and you know, death and her skin being like a purpley blue and you know, and here, you know, it's just weird. But I said in the last time, and I say this every single time, absolutely gorgeous. Not just Sylvanas. I mean, look at her. She's fucking gorgeous. But the art, the art department, they every single time they nail the cinematics. You can say what you will about Blizzard. You can say what you will about the game itself. Like, oh, it's become boring. Even if I stopped playing these games for the rest of my life, I will always come back for the cinematics because they are fucking gorgeous and they just keep getting more impressive. You know, I remember back when it was just like, you know, with mouth movements. Now they actually look like us, where you can see their teeth and their tongue, and you can see them, you know, moving their mouths when they talk. It's so great, and this is just in-game stuff, not the, you know, grand cinematics that they do. No, this is in-game, and the, you know, the fact that they're getting the mouth movements like that, it's just crazy. So the art team, the art department, you know, the ones who you design the zones and do the cinematics, you guys are doing good. All of you deserve a raise. But the other thing I wanted to talk about is this. This right here. Now you might be thinking to yourself, John, what's the big deal? Well, we've seen this shot before. We've seen this before. If you're a World of Warcraft player, you've seen this shot. Think hard. Where have you seen it? I'll show you where you've seen it. Remember this scene? Oh yeah, you remember that, huh? So we're gonna watch this small part right here, just when he says War Chief, and then it cuts to the shot that, trust me, you'll be like, wait a minute. Did we just... Now keep in mind that Blizzard doesn't do anything without a reason. So the fact that these two scenes are very similar, there's got to be a connection. I just don't know what it is. But here we go.
You must be War Chief.
Did you see it? Same top-down perspective. Sylvanas in this one is staring at the throne while everything else around her happens. In the cinematic we just watched, we see Uther sitting there with Sylvanas by himself while everyone else starts to disappear. The same music, like I said, the same top-down perspective, the same kind of like closing in, like you can see like a shadow around it just starting to close in and narrow the scene a bit. They don't do things like that for no reason. With Battle for Azeroth, there was the scene with Anduin meeting with Sylvanas and Lordaeron in the ruins of the throne room, and as he's coming into that area, it's like a one-for-one shot when Arthas comes back you see you hear the bell going, you hear the people cheering when he steps into the throne room. It was a 1-for-1 shot, and people were like, "Wait, what's the connection between Anduin and Arthas?" Well, we see now that Anduin has kind of unwillingly gone down Arthas's path. He's kind of a Death Knight now, even though it's not his choice. Arthas chose to be a Death Knight, whereas Anduin is under the control of the jailer. But he is a prince who has blonde hair, loved by many, and he is now serving death. So Blizzard doesn't do things like this. They don't do just coincidences. They're always connected. But I can't think of anything that was said in this one and the other one that would correlate with each other. But they're the same shot. The same shot, same music. I can't think of what it is though. So like here's the throne, here's Sylvanas standing there staring at it, top-down perspective, and you see this shadow around here, kind of like closing. It's more obvious on this one because there's really not a lot around here as compared to, say, this one, where it's so much darker. You have a lot of dark tones and a lot of dark textures, which makes it harder to see, but if you really watch, you can kind of see it happening. But I don't know the connection between the two. The story itself, we're trying to redeem Sylvanas. I mean, people say, oh, it's stupid, but I mean, hell, if fucking Illidan can be redeemed, then whatever. Whatever. Sylvanas is a fan favorite, and she's been around forever, or at least since Warcraft 3. So yeah, she did terrible things, and so did Illidan. That's what it's the writing. They say people say the writing is terrible now with Sylvanas and this and that, but she's done terrible things, yes, but so did Illidan. And yet he was redeemed, and people had no freaking problem with it. So people wanted to see Arthas get redeemed. They wanted to see Garrosh get. So what's the difference between Sylvanas and those people? Garrosh did terrible things. Bombing of Theramore. Lost lives all over the fucking place. Look what he did in Pandaria. He's done terrible things. It may have been, as he would say, for the Horde, but it was terrible things. Arthas, he did what he needed to do to protect his people, and then he kind of lost himself to it. He did terrible things. People wanted to see him redeemed. Why can't Sylvanas get the same kind of redemption? So people chalk it up to bad writing, or maybe they're just taking a character that's been around forever and wanting to continue with her and not keep having her go down the path of, oh, she's just a typical villain now. They're giving her redemption. So why should her redemption be any different than Arthas or Garrosh or Illidan? It's because she's a woman, isn't it? I'm kidding. That's what some people would say, I'm sure. Yeah, well, if this was a male character, it'd be different. So there's a lot of characters that get redemptions. So they just want to redeem her, which is fine. It's just a matter of how they're gonna go about it. I mean, is she going to sacrifice herself, or is she gonna, what? As I've said before, if she's going to sacrifice herself, it needs to be in a way that would fit Sylvanas. She needs to go out like a badass, not just like some fucking hollow, meaningless death. Like, oh, since she died, guys, she died fighting for the good, and everything's better now, and she's redeemed. No, she needs to go out the way Sylvanas would go out. A complete fucking badass. So, but, yeah, the whole, well, we both have scars. Maybe if I let her touch mine, we can connect with each other. Like fucking Vulcan mind meld going on. although, although it's not quite like that, but the same kind of ideas, you know, sharing one mind and, you know, all that great stuff. It's just so weird seeing her like that. When she's on the shore talking to herself, kind of back and forth, you know, what we're doing is right, what you're doing is wrong, you know, what I'm doing is, you know, for the betterment of everyone. It's like, no, you're not, you're just a freaking murderer, you know. So you can see that there's the inner struggle. God, she's so fucking gorgeous though. Blizzard was like, you know what, a great character, and I think the only thing that throws people off are those long eyebrows. But if you were to, you know, take those away and just give her regular eyebrows, actually she would look like a typical blonde with long ears. There's got to be something distinguishing about her. Like, oh my god, I'm like the Ranger General, and I'm like high elf, and I'm just like so cool. You know, she would look like a typical Valley girl if it wasn't for the freaking eyebrows. Those luscious lips. And then we have not so peachy looking Sylvanas, who is icy looking, and she changes color all the time. Like sometimes she'll be gray, sometimes she'll be purple, sometimes she'll be blue. You know, it's just like, you know, it's like Blizzard has a list they go down. It's like, okay, what color do we make our list on? So, but yeah. So, she looks different all the time, but she always looks nice. They always make sure of that. But I think we'll just end it with this one. So, if you know the correlation between this cinematic and that other one, let me know, because like I said, they don't do anything, they don't do things like that for no reason. There's always a reason behind it. I can't think of anything that was said in that or the situations that are going on right now that would harken back to that. But you saw it's the same top down, the music's the same. You know, he's sitting there with her. Everyone else is fading away, you know, disappearing, going about their business. Whereas the other one, Sylvanas, standing there still by herself, looking at the throne, while everyone else, you know, you see Bane and Lorthamar taking Vol'jin's body, but she's just standing there, actually, almost kind of just like Jaina. But I can't think of the connection. So if you guys can think of one, let me know, because that'd be great. But anyways, for anyone who's new to this, let me know about what you think and subscribe. If you're not new and you're watching this, same thing. Let me know what you think. And do you think Sylvanas needs a redemption? Like I said, if people wanted Arthas to get one and Garrosh to get one, and, you know, Illidan got one, why shouldn't Sylvanas get one? So, anyways, let me know what you think below. Subscribe if you haven't, all that great stuff. And I will see you guys next time. Bye, guys.